Hello, welcome back to the channel. So I've been agonizing over this video for the last few days. So I decided to just hit record, see what happens. I wanted to do a top 10 list, but I don't feel like I listened to enough new releases this year to really do a good, honest top 10 list. So, you know, if you've been watching my videos, you know the stuff I've been buying. I'm repurchasing classics that I used to own, you know, back in the old days. So I've concentrated so much on that, didn't really keep up with a lot of new releases. So I'm still going to tell you my favorite album of the year, and then I'm just going to rattle off a bunch of other bands that I listened to this year in no particular order, you know, call them honorable mentions, I guess. I don't know. So when the year first started, I got a notebook. Got me a notebook. And I started listening out every day. Music comes out every day, right? Friday's the big release day, but 7 days a week, there's something coming out in some subgenre of metal. So every day, I would go and check things out, and I would write things in my notebook. You know, starting January 5th was the first thing I wrote down. Puñalada, which is a Japanese band with a Brazilian vocalist, crossover thrash, you know, good stuff. Gave it a 4 out of 5. And then everything that I listened to, I would write it down. Sometimes you find yourself going back and listening to something more than once, right, over and over. So those albums that I found myself going back to, put a star next to them, right? So the idea is those are the ones that are rising to the top. Those are the ones, a lot of these I listened to, it was good, I give it a star rating, I wrote down some notes, I moved on, listened to something else. Every once in a while, I go back, let me listen to this again, let me listen to this again. You know, it goes in a regular rotation kind of thing for a period. So I'm going to go through I should add, I stopped doing this the beginning of March. I only kept it up, you know, until March 11th. That was the last entry, and then I just stopped, you know. I'd still check things out, but it stopped becoming like an everyday, started to seem like work a little bit, making sure that I checked out every new metal release every day and take notes. So anyway, I'm going to flip through real quick. There's not many. I'm going to read off everything I put a star next to, because this, at the time, rose to the top for me. The first thing from January 7th, Nocturnal Graves and Outlaw's Stand. I gave it a 4 out of 5, listened to it multiple times, it got a star. So these are what I would be choosing from if I was going to do a top list. Next up, something I actually bought. You saw this on my cassette update. Altar of Gore, Infinite Visions of Violence. Gave this a 5 out of 5. It's an EP. Death metal. Good stuff. The very next entry, Pulsus Furor, Satanic Wings of Blasphemy EP. Gave it a 5 out of 5. The one-man black and death metal project from Germany. It's really good. Highly recommended. I mean, it starts out with an instrumental, and then I believe there's 3 tracks, and each one is better than the last. Like, it builds to the point that as soon as it finishes, you want to go back and listen to it again. I loved it, right? Next up, January 14th, Wolfbastard, Hammer the Bastards. Crust Black Metal, their 3rd album from the UK. Remembered listening to it a bunch. Next up, something else I bought. Nullification, Kingdoms to Hovel. This came out January 14th. It's like old school death metal from the Philippines. Good stuff. Here's one. Vicious Nights, Alteration Through Possession. Came out January 28th. First full-length album, death thrash band from Greece. I remember really liking this. Listened to it over and over. So yeah, that would be, you know, I don't know if it'd be top 10. You know, like I said, this isn't a list. EverdeaD, Resurrected into Plagues demo from February 22nd. New demo from Polish death metal band, old school death metal sound. Yeah, I bought that on Bandcamp digitally. Extinguished, Vomitous Manifestations. First demo, Finnish old school death metal band. And that's it. That's through March 11th. That's everything that kind of rose to the top. So if I was choosing a top 10 list, those would be the contenders. What else do I have here? A couple records that came out this year. Savage Master, Those Who Hunt at Night. Right? Yep. Those Who Hunt at Night. And I mean, don't go yet. This is album of the year for me. This is Devil Master, Ecstasies of Never Ending Night. Love this album. Album of the year for me. All right. Now, I guess some other things wrote down. Just wanted to mention 2022 releases I streamed. Exhumed, To the Dead. Love Exhumed. This album was, you know, it's all right. You know, not top 10 level, I don't think. Autopsy, Morbidity, Triumphant. Liked it better than the Exhumed album. This might have made my top 20 list if I was doing a proper one, you know. Mortuous, Upon Desolation. My problem with the Mortuous album, their previous album I thought was just a masterpiece, you know, 5 out of 5. And this one I felt was just not up to the same level, personally. So I was a little bit disappointed. You know, still a great album. I've only streamed it, I think, 3 times. So I'll give it another couple spins. You know, I might end up buying it. I mean, who knows? This one. Spider. Bathe the Babe in Bat's Blood. Love this. Love it. Okay. Of course, it's Francis from Devil Master plays bass on this. So, of course, I had to check it out. And Richard from Shitfucker, who I still haven't listened to. I've mentioned them before. I loved it. Streamed it a bunch. Haven't bought the CD. Vinyl will be out in a couple months, it looks like. So I'll probably definitely buy it on vinyl when it comes out. You know, I really dug the new Darkthrone album. You know, didn't like, what was it, Eternal Hails, their previous album? Didn't like that at all. Didn't get all the way through that one. This one I've streamed a couple times. Not great. Really good. Probably not in my top 10. Maybe in my top 20. I don't know. Couple things that are not under consideration, you know, would be, you know, I'm doing this video completely sober and I feel like I can't speak. First time I've done a video completely sober, by the way. Not liking it, really. So I'll go back. A couple albums I need to mention that would not be under consideration for my top 10 list. Voivod, Synchro Anarchy. Didn't get all the way through it. Had to turn it off. You know, I don't know. I love, as much as I love early Voivod, that's how much I don't love modern Voivod. It's hard for me to get through. You know, haven't checked out. Like, their band I've kind of been just skipping out on. Only checked out their most recent album because my friend Joe suggested I check it out, and I gave it a shot. About halfway through, I just turned it off, listened to something else. So should probably mention Psy, Shiki. I won't name names, but certain people on YouTube love this album. I just avoided listening to it because I thought I wouldn't like it. I do that a lot. Like I said, new stuff comes out every day. There's like a never-ending supply of music, so you can skip bands. It's not like you got to go without. You just listen to something else. And that's what I've done with Psy. I've just, avant-garde black metal, according to Metal Archives. And avant-garde, I think that's French for not for me. It's like not interested most of the time, right? Anyway, I thought I should listen to it, right? So I didn't pop it in. I streamed it yesterday. Turned it off halfway through track 7. That's how far I got. Track 6 was a tough one for me, but I decided I'm just going to keep, I can get through it. It's just a record, I can get through it. Track 7 lost me, and I was like, that's it. That's enough. It's enough. It's like, I love the black metal parts. I did not like the avant-garde parts. The bongos and the congas and the flutes and the horns and all that stuff. It was too much. It was just too much of it, and it went on for too long. I can handle that stuff in small doses, but it was just too much. And it's sad because the metal stuff was really good, and then it's, it's bringing an opera singer with some bongos and, those shaker things. And it's just, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't deal with it, right? So that's what I thought of Psy. Yeah, here's the thing. My notebook, the only things that go in my notebook are things that I get all the way through. If I check something out and I just give up after a song or two, I don't write it down. Now I wish I would have kept a list just to see how many bands I actually listened to, that I just checked out a song or two. Because I'll try, raw black metal and symphonic black metal. I'll check it out. Usually loses me after a couple songs. Those don't go in the notebook. So Psy, Shiki would not have went in my notebook, and Voivod, Synchro Anarchy would not have went in my notebook because I couldn't finish them. So that's where I'm coming from, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little bit closed-minded, okay? I get that. One last album I want to mention. I'm not going to drag this on. I wanted to do a top 10 list. And like I said, this that I'm reading off to you, I'm probably forgetting a few, because if I can't write them down, and I wrote down, what did I get up to? 79 things I've got written down, before I gave up. So I was on pace to fill up this notebook, and it fell off, and I've been concentrating on other things, and next year I'll do better. I promise that. Next year I'll do better. Tell you a story. I got this idea one day. I thought it would be funny to go on Cameo and get like a famous metal person to record like an intro to my thing. Like, my name is whoever, you're watching Brian's Mostly Metal Updates. I thought it'd be funny, to get Chris Barnes, to do that. He wouldn't do it. I know he wouldn't do it because he's not a shill, whatever. I love Chris Barnes, and I'm doing a Chris Barnes video, I promise. I'm just, I'm getting up the courage to show my 6 Feet Under albums, is all, So I thought it'd be funny to do that. And then I decided, well, not really. Wouldn't be funny, Would amuse me. Probably wouldn't amuse anybody else. So then I got an idea. Maybe this would be funny. Find the least metal person you could find on Cameo and have them, you're watching Brian's Mostly Metal Updates, like they wouldn't know. But who would that be, right? So I just started looking through like the musicians, and I ran across Kenny G. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny to get Kenny G? I'm Kenny G, and you're watching Brian's Mostly Metal Updates, and pick up a saxophone, and as soon as he gets ready to blow a note, cut away from him. I thought that would be funny. Not $350 funny, because that's what he charges to do a video on Cameo. So, yeah, that was out. But that to me was like the least metal person, Kenny G. So I recently found out that Kenny G played a saxophone on the latest Imperial Triumphant album, which I didn't know, right? So now it wouldn't even be funny. He's not like the least metal person out there. He's played on a metal album, right? Imperial Triumphant are listed as neoclassical black metal early, avant-garde / technical black / death metal later, right? So they're an avant-garde technical black death metal band, I discovered them. I was looking at shows at Reggie's in Chicago. I keep track of who plays there because, a trip is always possible, to Reggie's. So I saw Imperial Triumphant were playing there. Never heard of them, right? So I went and checked them out, on YouTube or whatever. And it's one of those one song and I'm done kind of deals. It's like I just listen to whatever, their latest, something from their latest album, and one song, and I was like, nuh-uh, not for me, right? I don't know. So yeah, I that's all I can say. I didn't listen to their latest album, and I probably won't. Maybe I will. Maybe I should. Maybe I should for the chance. Like I said, I listen to Psy, and I mean, does all their stuff sound like that? I know they've been around a while, I don't know. I mean, like I said, avant-garde black metal. I didn't like the avant-garde part, So if some of their earlier stuff is less, what should I say? I don't know what to say. Less the way that album is. You know what I'm saying? I'd check it out. I don't know. That's all I've got, really. What else? I don't know. I didn't like doing the video sober. It seems a lot easier when I'm drinking, when I've had a few. So the sober idea may not last, just so you know. Like I said, you might get a collection update, for sure before the end of the year. I don't know. That might be it. Probably cut this down quite a bit, so it'll be a short one, I think. So, like I said, that was my not really a top 10 list. We'll call it a year in review. How about that? I'll title it 2022 Year in Review. Album of the Year. Devil Master. I don't know. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I just forgot. You know, cause that's why I got to write shit down, because I'm old, and if I don't write things down, you know. Listen, I started writing stuff down again this week. I decided to pick up, you know, here's a just to show you the kind of stuff that's going to be in consideration from my top 10 lists. Uh, I discovered this recently. Rosetta Twist, their demo, just came out November 30th. I give this a 4 out of 5. I haven't put a star next to it yet, but I have listened to this more than once. You know, I would buy this on cassette if it was available. This they called Groovy Gore Grind, which I'd never heard of until, that's why I listened to it, because it was classified as Groovy Gore Grind. I liked it. This is the kind of shit I listen to, you know. So, yeah. You know, there's something else that I run across. It was just a single. So I'll just wait and talk about that when it comes out. But I love the one song. I have to look at my history on YouTube to see what it was. So yeah, I'll mention that some other time. But yeah, the idea is next year to make this like a daily thing and stick with it all year long, and have hundreds and hundreds of releases to choose from, you know, and do a best video possible. This one was half-assed, and I know it. So cut me a little bit of slack on this one, you know. You know, I'll try to have another video like, you know, next week, you know, towards the end of the week or whatever, you know. We'll see. Still think trying to get Chris Barnes to do an intro would be cool for my Chris Barnes video. You know, you can ask a question on Cameo, you know, and they set their price, those different prices. For Chris Barnes, if I want to ask him a question, I can pay $6. I guess $6 for an answer. You know, if he answers it, he gets $6. I could just ask him, would you do that? Thought about doing a video, you know, you can do like a FaceTime thing with him, you know, Skype call or whatever, you know, for, I forget how much. I'll put it on the screen. I forget how much it was. Not cheap, but not outrageous. You know, it'd be fun to do, you know, for goof, I think. You know, maybe I could like do like a mini interview. You can't record those and make them public. It's against the terms of service for Cameo. You know, apparently if they record a video, you know, you can do that. But if you do a live, you know, FaceTime or whatever, you're not allowed to record it for some reason. So thought about doing that and sharing it with you, but can't do that. But might change, you know, the way the video comes out, you know, if I would do a FaceTime with him, you know, before I did my video. Never know. We'll see. Kenny G, like I said, $3.50 for a Cameo video. You could ask him a question for $20. So yeah, ask Kenny G a question for $20. You know, would you do this? You know, no. You know, that's probably what I'd get. I don't know, who knows? Maybe he's a good guy. You know. That's it, I guess. I better just wrap it up. I mean, it was a short video and then I start rambling. Yeah. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking. I do appreciate it. Getting close to 200 subscribers as I record this. So excited about that. So yeah. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.